Welcome back to another episode of the Aussie Gamers Experience podcast. I am your host, Snoogs, and joining me on deck tonight is my vigilant co-host, Grejio, helping me get through the top news and gaming stories from the week. So sit back, relax, and get ready for episode 311.
Whoa, this is the Aussie Gamers Experience podcast, the show with irreverent live listeners, raging hosts, and eventually conversation about the best and the worst of the video games industry. So, all that you're required to do now is to pick up your poison of choice. Expect the best, but prepare for the worst, and above all, enjoy the show.
Thanks everyone for joining in, but before we get started, Grejio, how are you, mates?
I'm really well. I had an interesting day today. It started off a bit stressful. I had a child decide that red texture goes really well on a white wall and white furniture.
Oh yeah, they do that.
So yeah, that was she was just trying to express her creative side, and like a true dictator, I destroyed her art for the sake of the nation.
Had to quash the rebellion before it got started.
Yeah, and then my wife, after she got home, went shopping for things that would further lock down her civil liberties, because we cannot let Princess Upstart start any more unrest. So, yeah, no.
Good to hear. Well, it's been a week for me.
Yeah.
Nothing overly exciting to report. Just more of the usual with work and everything going on, and everything around the country starting to affect New South Wales more and more. So everyone, like we said last week, keep going, keep on the right track, and we'll all get through this sooner or later. Anyway.
Cast your mind back. Do you remember when we were making fun of this whole thing?
Yes. Yes, I do.
There was 100 memes in the chat, just like, yeah, give me a cough, yeah, bring it, bro. And then we've got, now we're literally got stage 4 lockdown, and many people have died, and we were sitting there joking about this is going to be an excuse to just get off work, and the games industry is just going to use this to phone it in for the year. Yep. But yeah. Turns out we were not very Nostradamus-like.
No, it kind of got a lot worse than a lot of us were thinking. I was actually speaking to one of the guys that I work with, who works in our factory down in Victoria, and he's not having fun. As I'm sure that many Victorians that are listening would be in the same boat. So good luck. There's a few more weeks to go yet. But as always, a quick shout out to the chat. Azrael, Martikins, Radicus, and the Wraith. Welcome, people. And Wraith, yes, the nudes you sent were the highlight of my week. It's just that I'm starting to go a bit blind. So can you back off on them for a little bit? Thank you very much. All right. Mate, let's jump into the show. We've got a bit in store this week, as we do every other week. Fall Guys are still hitting it well out of the park. Epic calls in the lawyers. Mainstream media simp. Total War downloads, and maybe a few other games we'll throw in there as well. So let's get into it, mate. This week in gaming. I remembered it this week. It's a good thing, right?
Yep, it's definitely a good thing. I mean,
the problem is that this corresponding week last year, I'm pretty sure I used this one as well.
Oh, come on!
And quite
I was just about to give you ups for not phoning it in this week, like
I'm
you did last week.
I'm not phoning it in. There's a reason for this one. Okay, so there's a reason for this one. So Lucas and I got to play this game early. It was released in 2017, and it is Uncharted: The Lost Legacy. So the reason I bring this one up again is, one, I absolutely loved it. It was released a day before my birthday. Woo! And yeah, I got to play it early and try it out early and try and shoot the monkeys that you couldn't shoot, but everyone in the session tried to shoot them. So it's, of course, published by Sony Interactive and developed by Naughty Dog, It's a standalone title that's part of the Uncharted universe, but not. It's a full game, but only about a bit more than a half the size of your Uncharted sort of titles. Plus, they had a section in the center of the game which was choose which area you wanted to do first before you could progress the story. So it was like a bit of an open area, which was something not previously done with Uncharted. All right, well, let's get into the games that we've been playing for the week, shall we? Games. Have you been playing anything other than Minecraft, mate?
That is a negatory. You saw my base last night.
Yeah, I already knew the answer.
You can probably guess how much time I've put into Minecraft in the last little while. It is.
I was actually blown away. We're definitely, once you've finished your base,
yes.
we're going to have to do a video of it. We're going to have to do a video walkthrough or something.
Dude.
Because it's epic. It's some of the biggest buildings I've ever seen done in Minecraft and very meticulously laid out as well. So it'll be good to show off, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Especially because at the moment, like I say, the ground buildings are almost complete. The subterranean part is far from complete, and the aerial part of it is nowhere near complete. So. Mm-hmm. You're right. I'm going to be immensely proud of this. I don't care if anyone else thinks it looks arse or whatever, but I will be immensely proud once this is actually finished. So, yeah, should be good.
All right. I've been playing a bit more of Scully. Now, like I said last week, Scully's this puzzle game where, yes, you start off as a skull and you get to move around through the island and sort of, it's little bits of puzzles and whatnot. You use magic to change into little golem type things, and you progress the story that way. It's getting a little lackluster.
Mm.
The puzzles are not difficult, which I'm fine with. I don't particularly like. I'm not playing this game to be challenged as a puzzler.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that I just want to, switch off and try and enjoy the story. The main issue that I have, though, is that the controls are very, very touchy. So when you're playing as just the skull, you're rolling around on the ground. And one time, you move the stick a millimeter and it moves a millimeter. You move the stick a millimeter again and it moves to the other side of the screen. And you get flung off into the water, and that's where you die. The story itself, though, it's nothing to write home about. But then again, it's only a relatively small indie title too. It's just, I think it kind of feels like it's got a few environmental ideals behind it. But yeah, gets a little bit frustrated and very samey after a while. Like the level designs are very samey, and you're just kind of going along. And yeah, I just hope I remember it once I'm finished it, if you know what I mean.
Fair enough.
It's I've got good things to say about it, but yeah, it's not the best one out there. At the moment, I'm sort of giving it about a 6 out of 10, maybe a 5.
Yep.
If I was doing numbers, but there we go. Some more Fortnite.
Yep.
I got a second place.
Nice.
And that was in a solo match. I've got a whole heap of top 10s as well, and yeah, I'm right back enjoying it, just switching my brain off and playing Fortnite. It's stupid, but it's a pretty cool game. Like it is a solid shooter, and because you don't have that one shot fired and then a 10-story bloody building, it seems to have leveled the playing field a bit more, which is really good. I've also jumped back into Ghost of Tsushima.
Mm-hmm. How is Ghost of Sushi Chef?
I've pushed on a bit further than I have previously.
Yep.
And I'm starting to understand what a lot of people are raving at, but
as in the negatives or the positives?
No, the positives.
Yeah. Right.
So I can understand where they're coming from, but for me, I'm not getting it.
Right.
I'm just not getting this big blown away feel of the type of game it is. All the combat feels very much the same, but mind you, I haven't been into the stuff where I can start playing as the ghost yet, where I can be, I can fight dirty, so to speak.
Which is really what you want.
That's what I want. That is what I want.
Let's call a spade a spade.
Yeah, 100%. That's exactly what I want. The samurai stuff, fighting with honor. It's
for the
all
dogs.
very. Well, no, it's all very samey. You can't, you're not using the environment. You're just standing there going toe to toe. I prefer being a sneak. So
sure.
We'll see how that goes over the next little while. I might even stream it a little bit.
Yeah, look, Rem bought a copy of it today, so I'll be able to weigh in specifically on what I think. So
good stuff.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, no kids around because it is quite.
Yeah,
as you could have guessed.
Yes.
And quite a few more rounds of Fall Guys.
Yeah.
There are some very, very good people playing Fall Guys now.
It didn't take long, did it?
No. Like insanely good. To the point where someone like me, who's only, a filthy casual, because I try and spread my time out over a few games for the week.
Yep.
I'm never going to get a win.
Yep.
It's insane. Like I've watched people that are, you get to the last round and it's the honeycomb round where you got to jump on the honeycomb sections, and as you jump on each one, it falls through, and you've got I think 3 or 4 layers or whatnot. They'll be up on the second level, and everyone else has fallen in the drink at the bottom, and they're still up there. Just the way that they're moving between the sections, they're absolutely brilliant at it, and you can tell they've played it a bit, So yeah, it's good. It's good fun. And is anyone in the chat that's been going? I've been trying to not look at the memes that are going up in there, but is anyone in the chat still playing? And I just look at that one. Yep, beautiful. Radicus is still playing it. Radicus, I'm going to have to jump on the PlayStation and have a run with you. See if I can get it going at my end. It's good fun.
All right, mate.
Yeah. Sweet. No worries. Well, I think that's it for games, mate. Rather quick one this week.
Yeah. Yeah, my devotion to my Dark Temple is kind of killing the killing this segment slightly, isn't it?
Oh, sorry. No, I do have one more.
Yes.
I picked it up. It was free on Steam. I don't know if it still is, but it was Postal.
Oh, really?
The original version of Postal.
Yeah, wow.
To the point where I'm playing it, I'm laughing because, well, I'm a sick bastard.
Yep. And,
this was banned in Australia back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a shareware demo of it. And, there you go. It's free on GOG at the moment as well.
There you go.
I had a shareware version of it, which was just the first level.
Yep.
So I played that first level so many times.
Yep.
And even to the point where I've started playing it and I'm laughing and, chuckling away to myself as I'm running around doing executions. And I went, because I bought Postal Redux a little while ago, which is like a revamped version of it. And there's certain things that aren't in it.
Yep.
And this one's the original version. And I've gone, I wonder if it works. And, of course, I've hit the Q button and, yes, it works again. He goes, I regret nothing, and turns the gun on himself.
There you go.
And I know that's terrible, but when it's a little pixelated thing and it just brings back that memory of a sick and twisted teenager laughing his head off at it, because at the time it was funny. Check it out. It's not for the weak stomach. It's not for anyone under the age of probably 30. Really?
SJW should probably stay clear of this one.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
But check it out.
Just don't be an SJW. If you don't like it, don't play it. Just don't expect everyone else to agree with you. Fuck off.
It does. It's an old school title that's follows those old school rules. Get stuck into it. Have a bit of fun. All right, mate. Let's jump into the news, shall we?
Let's.
The news. I'm going to kick off with a bit of news that's not really game related, but it's more political. Okay, and I know what you're probably asking. Pat, why are you bringing political crap into this?
Strap yourselves in.
Strap yourselves in. It's not that bad.
Someone's going to have a rant.
No. This is hysterical. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because Bill Shorten has brought terminology from what is commonly known as the gaming sphere, or the streaming social media sphere that we all play around in. He has brought in a phrase. So
he's trying to catch the youth of the nation.
What has Bill Shorten said? If I can put it in really plain English, Mr. Morrison needs to make sure he doesn't look like he's just a simp to Donald Trump.
Wow.
Now, for anyone that doesn't know, what is a simp? Now, if we go back to when I was a kid, a simp was like a simpleton, an idiot. That's kind of evolved and whatnot to being a more Urban Dictionary style definition, which is someone who will say anything to please someone, particularly a girl, in hopes that they will be in good favour with that person. That's pretty much what is classified as a simp lately.
Yep.
So it means you're doing anything, saying anything in the hope that you'll get generally some sexual favour. And Bill Shorten has called our Prime Minister a simp.
Simp.
Nice.
Quite frankly, it's one of those. Yeah, look, it is what it is.
I just found that funny. So
Yeah.
I wanted to bring it up. There's a few things. Where is the lie? Yeah. Bathwater buying guys. Yeah, there's another one.
Yeah.
So there we go. You got anything to add on that one, mate?
No,
I'm
that's.
just going to leave that one.
Let's just leave it there. Like, there's nothing I can get with that.
Last week, a Total War Saga, Troy, was released for PC. And on release day, which was, I believe, the 14th, it was free for the first 24 hours on the Epic Store.
Nice.
Yeah, 7.5 million people snapped it up.
You're right.
In that first 24 hours.
Well,
Yeah, so...
Why wouldn't you?
So it's absolutely blown away. The Creative Assembly, which is the guys that look after a Total War, have said that they're very happy. They couldn't have predicted this level of excitement, and they're very happy that the giveaway was so successful. So that's a good thing. That the game itself, I've got it. I picked it up. I believe it's like an RTS type thing.
Yep.
I haven't jumped back into it yet, but if it's an RTS, sign me up. I quite enjoy it.
Yeah, I like how it's a success. Like, I like how they went. We didn't predict how much this was going to take off, and it's quite a success. How much money we've lost in sales because we did this. It's just like, it's great. Yeah. It's awesome.
Oh, it's one of those things that, well, to be honest with you, it's something that I would not have bought, and especially for, I think it's a better part of $80 Australian.
Yep.
And yeah, as Martikins has put in the chat, Epic would have sweetened the deal, and probably had a percentage that they were given per sale. So for 7.5 million that have picked it up, I reckon they would have been happy with that.
Cool.
Right. Mate, last bit of news, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just gonna have to think up some shit on the fly.
Not really, because this one we can have a talk about.
Yep.
Okay. So this one is, of course, the ongoing saga between Epic Games, Google, Apple, and Fortnite. So for those that don't know, Fortnite has been taken off the iOS store, the Apple store, and the Google Play stores after Epic Games have recently decided to do a bit of a discount on their V-Bucks. Now, for whatever reason, this hasn't meshed well with first Apple and then Google in regards to their terms of service, and Apple getting something like 30%, because originally you had to go through the Apple store to buy the V-Bucks and through the Google store to buy the V-Bucks, but now it was a direct purchase. So that's where the conflict happened, something along those lines.
Yep.
Okay. So now Epic Games is taking legal action against Google and Apple just hours apart from each other after being banned from both stores. So what's happened is that Fortnite's latest update offered all players a 20% discount, but you had to pay directly to Epic Games, like I said. So that's broken the rules for both of them. It's gone on. Epic Games has gone absolutely crazy with this and called out Apple and Google for being like a monopoly against them.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, now they've taken legal action.
Yep.
So have you ever played it on your phone?
No. Dude, I barely liked it on console. Why would I play it on my phone?
Pretty much it. Like I don't have a lot to say on it. I've played it on the phone a couple of times. I don't particularly like playing it on the phone.
No.
I don't. I've played Call of Duty, on the phone. Again, not a big fan of playing it on a little screen. And I've got the S10, the Note 10 Plus.
Yep.
But it just doesn't do it for me, even with a controller. So it's not that big of a deal for me. But apparently on iOS, it is an absolute monster. Like the Fortnite itself. On Google, not so much. Like on Android devices, but on iOS, it was an absolute monster of a thing. So for Apple to come out and just kick it off the store altogether, it's quite a big thing. But do you think anyone's actually in the right here?
Look, it's like most things. I think it's quite hard to know, really, because we're not talking about small companies here that are fighting over dimes. We're talking about large companies fighting over big sums of money, and generally, and I say this, very rarely is there a time where you can say there's a clean-cut scenario where both are one person's in the right and one person is trying to be fair and equitable. They're just trying to get over each other, really. That's usually what's happening. So yeah, there's probably some truth that, the Apple Store is like skimming a large amount of cash off the process, but that's what they're trying to do. That's how they make money.
Mm-hmm.
Call it right, call it wrong. If it's not illegal, then
that's their terms and conditions.
That's their terms and conditions, right? At the same time, you can turn around and say, like, that's the price of doing business. But then people, on the other side of the fence are turning around saying, well, we want to make more money and they're taking too much of our money and not giving us enough of a service. And we should have the ability to just be able to sell whenever we want. And like, and then still use the system that we don't want to pay for, So it's hard. It's hard to know who's in the right. And I came across this scenario again today with a different story, and once again, actually involving Google, where if you tried to search anything today on Google, you would have seen a little warning sign come up saying that the way you use Google and YouTube will be dramatically changed if this Australian legislation is passed, and you've got to click on the link to find out more. And essentially, the Australian government's trying to enact a legislation through the ACCC that means that Google and Facebook are essentially going to subsidise news media in Australia due to the fact that news media is losing so much money through their reporting of news through. Well, it's not that they're not losing money; they're just not making any money off the news because it's so widely and easily available for free through these systems. So anyway, look, and I look at it and I go, look, Google's crying poor, and look, I know that news media in Australia is just copping up battering especially since the internet existed, because they just were too slow to adapt.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, they're not exactly they're crying poor because their monopoly has been ruined, right? Before that, they were the single point of, where you found all your information. Now that's what the internet is, and they're upset that they no longer have that. So it's kind of one of those things where you're just like, it's one big bad monopoly pretty much bashing another big bad monopoly. So I kind of find it really hard to look at it and go, I'm not going to get an even-keeled story from either of them. So you got to try and do your best to read both sides and then try and find where you think the middle ground is. But chances are it doesn't matter anyway, because that's never where these things end up landing. They always, someone will win and someone will be bloodied. So at the end of it, anyway, I just think at the end of the day, it never seems to be a great outcome for the end user, which is us.
Yeah.
In both instances, there's a bunch of people that will now not be able to play Fortnite because they can't play it on their phone. Or there's now a bunch of people that will now have to pay for their news media in some other way, or it's just.
G'day guys, Editing Lucas here, just weighing in with my opinion on this fiasco with Fortnite, Epic Games, the iOS Store, the App Store, and the Google Play Store. Who is in the wrong here? Well, it would clearly be Epic Games. If there are terms and conditions that are agreed to, you can't just circumvent them. That's clearly what's happened here. They've gone against the terms and conditions of whatever it is that they've signed and agreed to have their game on the stores, and that's in violation, so they've had the game removed, which is no different to an end user agreement. If you breach these terms and conditions with playing a game, so like an online game with cheating, then you get banned. And that's exactly what's happened to these big hitters. And unfortunate for the end user, that's the case, and that's what will happen. And I just can't see any lawsuit going in Epic Games' favour. What probably should have been done is that Epic Games may have been able to go into some sort of renegotiation with with Apple or with Google, but instead they sort of just went about it and did it themselves, and then found themselves in trouble and the game's been removed. It's a very simple, clear and cut case of just going around some terms and conditions, and that's the response that you get. Yeah, I guess maybe Google Play Store and Apple, maybe they were a little bit greedy with their 30% of all sales, but that's what the agreement was. That's what it shall be. Renegotiate. Don't just go around it. Otherwise, this is what happens. That's my opinion on it. Epic is the bad guy. All right, back to you guys.
Well, I've got some statements from both Google and Apple. So Google has pointed to the fact that users can technically install apps from other locations, with your Android system, you can download, I believe it's an APK file, and just download and install anything. The problem is that they're not tested, they're not guaranteed, and you could be installing a virus. It's like anything. But, if you're getting it for someone reputable like Epic Games, you can still do it.
Yep.
So the open Android ecosystem lets developers distribute apps through multiple app stores. For game developers who choose to use the Play Store, we have consistent policies that are fair to developers and keep the store safe for users. While Fortnite does remain available on Android, we can no longer make it available on Play Store because it violates our policies. So that's where, the issue with Google is that they've taken it off the official Google Play Store because they're asking you to not purchase through Google Play Store. So that's where their policies have taken a hit there. Apple, on the other hand, because Apple is very much a monopoly, the system is very locked down. You've got to jailbreak it to do anything, and then jailbreaking it causes a whole lot of other issues. But what has Apple said? Epic has had apps on the App Store for a decade and have benefited from the App Store ecosystem, including its tools, testing, and distribution that Apple provides to all developers. Epic agreed to the App Store terms and guidelines freely, and we're glad that they've built such a successful business on the App Store. The fact that their business interests now lead them to push for a special arrangement does not change the fact that these guidelines create a level playing field for all developers and make the store safe for all users. We will make every effort to work with Epic to resolve these violations so they can return Fortnite to the App Store.
Yep.
So it's one of those things that you look at someone like Epic and go, okay, you've tried to bend the rules and it hasn't worked.
Yep.
No one's in the right here, but I don't think anyone's in the wrong either.
No. See, and like I said, it's hard to know because when you look at the arguments, they're two very different arguments. One is saying they are skimming too much money from us, and the other one's saying, yeah, but you have enjoyed and created, you enjoyed all the systems, you've built such a good, and like I don't think either of them are denying what each other is saying. They're just shouting different things, like you're taking too much money. Yeah, but we provide such a good service. And it's just like, well, clearly, it's just dumb.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not dumb for them. It's money at the end of the day, and we're not talking about cents. We're talking about dollars and big dollars. And I get why they're arguing it, but let's be blunt. It's just greed at the end of the day. So,
well, that's the thing, isn't it? Money is the root of all evil, or should we say, what people are willing to do for money is the root of all evil.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, it is what it is. Unfortunately, I dare say that there'll be some, closed door deal between the two of them that comes out, and it could just be something as simple as, well, you've got to buy through if you want to play it on the on devices, on your mobile devices, then you don't get a discount on V-Bucks. Is what it is. Mate, that's it for the news. That's all I had. There wasn't a whole lot of exciting things going on today. It is that time of the year where a lot of things are supposed to be going 100 miles an hour, but yeah, let's blame COVID. So let's go into some last words.
Let's do it.
All right. A shout out once again to our live listeners who've been carrying on, and these face swap things are absolutely brilliant.
Yes,
I love them, and it's good. Martikins, yes, the Xbox price leak. I'll get to that in the last words, but a quick shout out to Azrael, Martikins, Radicus, Skrill has joined us, and of course the Wraith. Thank you everyone for listening in. If you want to listen in, don't forget to hit that link to come and join our Discord and say g'day. You can listen in live with the rest of us. All right, so some last words. You got any last words this week?
I have a couple.
Get started.
So let's start with the money is the root of all evil. Do you know that's like one of the most misquoted lines?
Probably.
Yeah, because it's actually not money is the root of all evil. It's actually from the love of money is the root of all evil.
Yeah.
That's the actual quote. And it makes more sense then, because money actually isn't inherently evil. It's just a tool. So it can't be the root of evil.
That's why I threw in what people would do for money.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Secondly, that Tiger King Reface app looks like if Justin Bieber was Justin Timberlake was a hillbilly. That's what he would look like. You'll have to jump on the Discord chat server to see what I'm talking about. But yeah, straight up, JT as a hillbilly. That is him right there in a nutshell. Lastly, I have I guess a riddle for you.
Ooh.
Yeah, since we got plenty of time up our sleeve this week. So I have a riddle, and I want to see if you're on top of it or not, because it's a bit gaming. Well, it is definitely gaming related.
It's been a long day.
I here it is. What does Atari and Chuck E. Cheese have in common?
They're both making a comeback.
No.
No?
No, that's not it. No. Maybe someone in the Discord knows, but there's probably a whole bunch of people Googling like motherfucker right now, trying to be the first one to go, oh no. Yeah. Children's Tears, says the Wraith. Well, that's probably, if they got to play E.T., probably, but that's not the answer I'm looking for.
Okay.
Anyone else want to have a stab? Anyone Googling? Here comes Radicus. Pearls of Wisdom. He's probably old enough to know. It's tapping.
Tap,
But
away.
there is a very direct link between the two.
All
A
right.
very direct.
Well,
It's like one separation of.
While we're waiting for that,
Yep.
I do have something about the Atari. Jump on over to our website, www.theagexp.com, and Atari has named Bluemouth Interactive as the Australian distribution partner for the Atari VCS video computer system.
Ooh,
So, jump on over and have a look.
cool.
There's full details on the website.
Yeah.
We got no idea in the chat.
Yep, no idea. Except Marnikin said Google told him.
Okay.
So, the answer for those that are sitting there waiting with bated breath is Marnikin's going to type it out. No, I'm just going to say it. It's the same co-founder.
Ah,
They have the same co-founder.
well, look at that, hey?
The bloke who founded Atari also founded Chuck E. Cheese,
Chuck E.
which
Cheese.
is Nolan Bushnell. That is the man.
Ah, look at that. Learn something new every day.
You learn something.
I
every
have
day.
a feeling that was tucked away in the back of the head somewhere.
Probably. He did know that. I told you Radicus knew. He just couldn't remember, which is also a curse of old age.
Yep. All right. Well, for some last words, there's been an apparent leak for the Xbox Series X. I haven't reported on it because it is just a leak for the price point. Price point of 6th of November. Yeah, we already know that one. I'll wait till the guys put in the chat because I think it was $5.99 that it was a price point for it. I've seen bloody numbers saying that it'll be $499 in the States. I've seen $3.99 in the States. So who knows?
Tell you what,
at the moment?
still be less per value than Fast and Furious Crossroads.
Yes. Yes.
I can't believe how expensive that game was. And I sat down and I decided. So for those that were listening last week, I brought up Fast and Furious Crossroads dropped last week, and I said that eventually I would probably get around to playing it, even though it's probably going to be terrible. I watched a video on it, and the voice acting is brutal.
Yeah.
The traffic AI is bordering on like psychotic.
Okay.
Like you can literally just park on the side of the road and it's just entertaining to watch the traffic run itself off the road. They literally are just like they're psychopaths. They're literally out. It's like watching Death Race. And all you've got to do is sit on the side of the road and they will like literally run each other off the road. It's
okay.
It's worth watching on YouTube. I give you that much. But yeah, the storyline is tragic at best.
Oh.
So yeah, unless I get this for like bloody free, I don't see me ever playing this game. Which is a tragedy.
I'm not even going to try it. But speaking of a game that I'm looking forward to playing, we're a couple of hours from it going live to actually be played. Microsoft Flight Sim.
Yeah, nice.
That is going live tonight on PC from midnight tonight. This is, of course, Monday night, so Tuesday morning it'll be good to go. It is free with Game Pass Ultimate or Game Pass PC or whatever they're calling it now. So it is a whopping 150 gig download, something like that.
Yeah.
And, yeah, very power hungry. I'm going to bump it up and see what I can get out of it.
Stick your tower in an ice bath and go for broke.
Yeah, pretty much.
We're going to wrap it in a couple of garbage bags, just drop it in an ice bath and go, all right, let's go.
Let's go. Let's get it going. So I'll have some more to talk about next week unless I've hit play and something's blown up.
It's gonna sound like the Learjet you're gonna fly.
Yeah.
It's all about immersive experience.
My PC is above the recommended settings.
Yep.
But it is a very far cry from optimum settings. So we'll see what it goes. We'll see what happens with it.
If you really want to get it really immersive, like if you want surround sound, you just get your PlayStation, put it on the other side of your head and turn that on. And you got a twin jet engine plane. You're good to go.
I played Call of Duty with that the other night and turned it off halfway through the round because it was just too loud sitting next to me.
It took 15 minutes to wind down.
Yeah, something stupid like that.
Yep.
Oh, well, everyone keep a check out over on Twitch TV for Aussie Gamers TV and Snooger Visions. And don't forget to head on over to Instagram to @GrejioXPL and say good day to Greg. And that's it, mate. So let's shut it down. A nice quick one. Nice and quick one to go through this week. So I hope everyone's having fun and looking after yourselves.
It's Age Light this week.
Age Light this week. All right. Well, thank you very much to everyone that's listened to the show, and especially those that are still listening this far along. Don't forget to continue any of the topics we've discussed on this show over in our Discord channel, or hit us up via our socials. While you're at it, hit up our website, which is www.theagexp.com. Links, as always, are in the podcast show notes and descriptions. That's all from me. As always, I've been Snoogs.
And I have been Grejio.
See ya.
Ooh, once again, we have reached the end of another week in gaming, and if you've listened all the way up until this point of the show, then there's a good chance that you're a perfect fit for the Age XP Discord channel, and you can join by using the links in the show description. Once you've joined, you will find yourself within a community of amazing people who are all interested in one thing, and that's gaming. You can also join in live while we record the show and have your say. Now, don't forget to subscribe to this podcast so you'll be notified when the next episode is available for your listening pleasure. Until next time, take care, be safe, and keep on gaming.